All right, so last night I went to see Flash Gordon at the cinema, which is a good thing itself. Seeing this movie on the big screen was brilliant. I hadn't seen this film for a long time, and I was kind of tempted to watch this before I went, but then I thought, no, Joe, I want to go sit on the big screen and be like blown away by the colour and the craziness that this movie is. But not only did that happen, so this wasn't just a normal everyday screen of Flash Gordon. This was a screen of Flash Gordon that I happen to have VIP access to. And you're probably wondering, what does that mean? Well, that basically means that I wasn't just watching Flash Gordon, I was meeting Flash Gordon. Sam J. Jones was there at this screen of Flash Gordon. I got to do a VIP meet and greet with him before the movie started. And I've got to say that the people that put this thing together, it was brilliant. Because in my head, I thought the meet and greet would literally be you walk into a room, he's there, you go, hello, how you doing? Maybe one question, then you get moved along so someone else can come in. This was done totally different to that. It was literally, there was a table on the thing, a load of chairs, we all sat down, he was already sitting there when we walked in, and we had a conversation for like 40 minutes, nearly an hour conversation with Sam J. Jones about Flash Gordon, his other work. This was brilliant. I mean, when we finished it, we all kind of stood up, we were kind of like, we didn't expect that. We thought literally, as everyone would do, it would be a quick 5 seconds, hello, how you doing, maybe ask a question, get out for the next person. But the fact they brought everyone in together and we all sat round, not like him on the stage or him in front of everyone, we sat in a circle, so we're all kind of equal, and he was so welcoming to everyone, and he was telling like how he got in the business and stories of like what he does now, and also sort of like the acting stuff he'd done in the past, obviously being in TED, stuff like that. It was phenomenal. I didn't expect to have half the time with him, not even a quarter of the time with him, that we actually got with him. And it was just so nice to sit here. I mean, they brought out like canapes and Prosecco, if you like that stuff. I had orange juice, I don't drink. But like they brought out little canapes and stuff. But we didn't really touch it. We were so busy listening to the stuff he was saying. He was so open and so, like, it was so comfortable. That's the only way I can put it. It was like this massive celebrity who's been one of the most iconic movies of all time. Obviously, this is literally one of the most iconic movies ever. And he's just sitting in a room with us, chilling and chatting. And it was brilliant. And then we sort of like, after that happened, it kind of felt like he kind of wanted to stay. I think he was enjoying the conversations as well. And then we had to go to do the cinema bit. So we all went up to the screening, sat down. He came at the start, introduced the movie. And I think he was going to sit down with us at first to watch the film with us. But then they kind of like said, oh no, like you can come out of us for a bit. So then he left before we went to go get a drink, have a bit of a break and all that, because he'd been talking up and get ready. And then when the movie finished, he came back and did a whole Q&A bit, which again, that I felt could have gone on for a lot longer. I think he wanted to go on for a lot longer. They were trying to tell him to hurry up, because afterwards he was going to do like photographs, autograph signs and stuff. So you had to pay a little bit more money to get an autograph or a photo with him. But after, I mean, it was quite expensive to do that meet and greet and screen the Flash Gordon that I paid for. So I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe you could get a photo with it as well, but you didn't. But however, like, I didn't need to have the photo at the end of it with him. I didn't need to have an autograph with him. I was just happy to be in his presence that time and have that moment of just sitting around with him, something I didn't expect at all. I really didn't expect it. So the people that put it together, what's the name of the company? It's Phaser Events. They gave us a tote bag and a poster. So that's the tote bag you can see there. That's their cool tote bag they gave us. And they gave us a poster as well, like a free little poster from there. This is where I can't get out the tube now, because it does get stuck in now. Like a nice little poster in a tube. So like, for attending and that, and being a VIP, I've never been a VIP to anything in my life. So I was like, I have no idea what this is. And they brought out canapes. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is, because it was those little weird food things. I'm not a posh person. I don't understand things like this. I'm really not like a canapé person, but they gave us this little poster of him now. Look at that. How cool is that? And that is the company that did the event. So if you are, they're actually doing this, they're actually doing the Herne Bay Comic Con as well. But the way they put this together, I think is brilliant. Because I said, I don't know if it was more the way, because it seems like he's a very talkative, very sort of like everyone join in, sort of like person. He's not like, I'm a celebrity, I'm above you. He's not like that at all. He was such a lovely guy. And I think it was like Sam J. Jones's like way he liked to do it, maybe, that he gets everyone in, everyone, let's have a chat, let's have a, tell me about you. And there's a couple of guys in like the group we're in, the VIP group, a couple of those guys were sort of a military, and he's ex-military too, so I had a little bit of a chat about the military, like little discussions like that. It was quite nice. I mean, I'm not military at all. I don't know nothing about it. I would never have gone to war. But like they were having a little chat about their sort of military backgrounds and that, and it was nice to just hear it. And there was a guy and his sister sitting next to me, and they were this is their childhood movie, Flash Gordon. So they were just like, oh my god, you could see they were just like hyped up and just, oh my god, he's here. And it's just, and you just sat with them chatting away like as if he'd known them for years. Like, he chatted to all of us like he'd known us for years, like we were a group that used to go down the pub together or something. That's how it felt. And it was so organic and so not forced at all. It was so comfortable. And that's the most thing I got away from it. Like we all said, when we got up and left and he sort of stayed at the bottom to talk to the people that organised it, we all kept saying, like, how mad was that? I mean, he just sat and had a chat with us. And obviously, the stuff he talked about, and he said, he made a joke, so he said, like, we can have a chat, but we can't talk about movies or Flash Gordon or anything like that. He's joking. And literally anything you asked him, he'd talk about. Like they said, someone said to him, like you've got a security firm. Is that what you do now? And he said, yeah. So basically, he was quite honest. He said, like, I would always sit by the phone waiting for the next call. To be an actor, that's what you do. You sit by the phone. He said, you sit by the phone, and it got to a few months. He was kind of like, there's nothing's been calling, his wife, who sounds like the perfect person that a man should have in their life, you know, who like is very driven. She was like to him, right, you need to get up and you need to go find a job because this is not working, sort of thing. And he was like, okay. So he's a very person. He's very much like he could tell that he loves his wife. He's very sort of, a lot of his answers kept coming back to his wife and how she would like help him through things and that, and just get him sort of on the right track, like a strong woman sort of thing. It's good that like he was talking like that. And she said to him, like, you've got to get up, you've got to go find a job, you need to provide for his family. Everyone here loves you, now get out there and get some work. And he basically said he went to construction first, obviously, and then he went into security. And he said because he's got the military background and that, it was easy for him to fly for it and get what he needed to become a security person. Like the weapon in America, so obviously the weapons training as well as the security style training and stuff like that. And he said he flew for it, and that's what he does now. It's a vocation, and he did a really good thing. It's like, he said, my wife says to me, I'm not an actor, I'm a working man. So part of his working man is his acting. So he still does his acting. Also, we know he was in Ted recently. He does other things as well. And he said he's always open to like the Flash Gordon 2. He mentioned about that, how that didn't really, it was supposed to happen and everyone kept dropping it. It was always in a list of like films that could be, but there's some other stuff sort of trumped it. And it never happened. We never got a Flash Gordon 2, even though it's an obvious one that we should have got a sequel to. And I'm surprised with all his legacy sequels coming out now, it hasn't popped up. But he said he's like, there's been various famous directors that have got it in their list of like, oh, I'll do that soon. But they never, there's always something that's more priority than that. And it's sort of always in the list, but never makes it. And it was quite interesting hearing that. He talked about here's a politic bit. So someone mentioned Trump at one point. Obviously he's an American, so someone mentioned Trump when he was talking about crazy stuff and that. And he said, look, I'm not going to talk about, the one thing I want to talk about is politics. I don't like talking about politics. It brings everything down. There's no point. But he did say something I kind of agree, I've always agreed with. And he said that he used to be someone that would have a party, in America they have the political like parties, they have like Democrats and what's the other one? I can't remember what they're called. But Republicans and Democrats and you said that you stuck with the one you were with and you fought for them and you're with them. And he said he found himself like the party that he was with, he found himself not agreeing with them, but he was still with them and still voting for them. Then he suddenly realised that, hang on a minute, if I should vote for that one. He said, and now it changes. He votes for whoever he thinks is going to do what's right for him and his community and his family. So instead of going, right, I've always, like for us, so say you always voted Conservative. Instead of saying, like, I'm always voting Conservative, I'm going to keep voting Conservative, I'll never stop voting Conservative. What I do is I go, what's that person got to say? What's he said he's going to do for us? Oh, I like that. Okay, what does that person say he's going to do for us? And whoever says the thing that I believe the most to be true, or the thing that's going to help me or benefit me, my family, my community the most, is the person I vote for. So it was nice to see that I'm not the only one that thinks like that. And he was like, so it was just nice that he said that. And then he said, I'm not going to say who, what, when, where, or anyone votes for, but I'm just going to say that's what you should do. That's how I believe you should do it. And I was kind of, that's what I believe as well. So it was kind of nice that you get that sort of similarity with someone like him. And then he was talking about one thing he did say was quite nice. He said that a lot of the stuff he's been in, he's never seen, because he's got family. He's got family, like kids that range a certain age. He's got grandkids as well. And he said there was always something else to do. So with the programs, if he ever did like TV shows and that, they'll be on in the evening. But he'd be taking his kids to football when it was on, or he'd be doing something else when it was on. He never got to see half the stuff he's in. So he said now, it's every so often he'll get like a DVD. And he said there was a TV show he did called The Highwayman, which kind of sounds interesting actually. After he talked about it, he thought he was going to run for ages. He only ran one season in the end. But he said that he never like saw the DVD because it's a really rare DVD. It's only recently come out on DVD. The only other way to get it would be like piracy or something. But he's now found it, and he's really happy that he sort of like can get to see it. And he was just talking about it's such great stuff, and it was like, it's nice when you get a celebrity that doesn't go up and do like almost read like a predetermined script. They're going to say this, that, and the other, and then they field a couple of questions, they disappear off. Like when this thing ended, he wanted to keep talking. And that's the credit to him. Like he was like, "Oh, are you sure? Because we can keep going." And they're like, "No, we've got to move on." And he was like, "Oh," and you could tell he wanted to keep going with the questions, wanted to keep talking. He had some great Brian Blessed stories. He said like Brian Blessed is a man that you think the stories he's telling you that they've got to be rubbish. No one's done those things. And he said then you find out he really has done the things he's talking about. And this is a legend of a man. Like we all know Brian Blessed as that, like the loud one. He's the Hawk Man in Flash Gordon. He's also an incredibly funny, entertaining character. If you ever see him do interviews and stuff, he's hilarious. Very loud, like ex-Shakespearean actor, like, oh, everything's like that. Fantastic. I'd love to see him live, to be honest. He's someone I would like to see live. But yeah, stuff like that. But and then you're sort of like, you think, oh Christ, this was such a great event. And it's local, because this happened at the Ashford Cinema, which is my local cinema. It's literally 5 minutes down the road from where I live. And that is a great cinema. It really is a great, because they bring other stuff in. It's not just a cinema anymore. They do random stuff in there, because basically it was a Showcase cinema. I think they were owned by Cineworld partly, and then Showcase went away, and the Ashford Borough Council took on the cinema and like kept it going. So it's now part of the Ashford Borough Council, and whether you like them or not, they're a diverse group of people, but like that cinema I think has run well, and they do something a lot of cinemas don't do. They do in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They do like cheap cinema. That's why I would call it. It's probably got some fancy name, but it's like cheaper cinema tickets. So it's like, I think it's like £7 a ticket or £8 a ticket for the cinema, which is vastly cheaper than you pay the rest of the week, because obviously the rest of the week is like when they get like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's when they put the money up to like average price. So it's like 15, 16 quid or something, whatever it is. Same as Cineworld and all the other places, The View, they all do them at roughly the same price. It is very expensive these days. A lot of people do complain. Actually, one of the conversation with one of the other guys sitting in the cinema with us, he said that he hadn't been to cinema for ages because he said it cost too much. But saying like this was a special event, so he came out. And I agree with him. And I explained to him that this cinema does that cheaper ticket, like midweek. They call it midweek. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Cheaper tickets, and that's why I go. That's when I go to the cinema. And I said also it's got really comfy. It's got like theatre seats. That's more comfortable. You can recline back a bit in the chairs. It's great. It's brilliant. So I like going to the Ashford Cinema. Cineworld's great because it's got the which is a bit further down the road from me, but it's got the 4DX screen. It's got the IMAX. So if there was ever anything that I thought, you know what, that'll be good on IMAX, I'd go there. But for my normal cinema goingage, I go to the Ashford Cinema, which is, again, it's technically an independent cinema, which is good as well. And I've always been treated nicely. I was staff there, so that's another thing as well. Like one of the managers there, because I've done a few reviews from and stuff like that, and I've got on well with her, and she always says hello, Paul, when I see her, and that's call me by name, so she remembers me. So that's lovely. She said she bumped into me last night as well. So it is good that they're trying to build a community thing there. And I said they do random stuff. They do. I've turned it into an advert for them. I don't know why. It's supposed to be a Flash Gordon review, but yeah, they do like they do really random stuff like Dungeons and Dragons nights and salsa dance lessons. Like someone's booked it for that, and they do like they sort of separate. They've got like a function room where they can do like business stuff and people talking. And I was in there a couple of nights back, and there was a group of people on the tables doing like a table read for, I don't know if it was a play or a film. I was trying to, I was earwigging. I was sitting in like this comfy chair, like armchair sections where before you go in up to the cinema bit. And I was there a bit early, and they were doing a table read for, I don't know if it was a play or a TV show or whatever they were doing it for. But I was just like, here we go, this is interesting. Just listening to do this little table read. And I was like, and that was in the middle of the cinema, sort of like the foyer section. But their foyer is like a bar and like a restaurant almost, and like with chairs and that. It's a nice place. So if you live local to Ashford, pop into the Ashford Cinema. It's quite a little treat for you. And they've got really cool artwork, like photographs on the wall as well, because I love stuff like that. I've just noticed I might be dipping down a bit because my camera recently, the ball joint is falling, so the camera often moves. And we're going. and it often like drops down, and I have to struggle with the. Oh no, we're really going now. I'm here. Ah! That almost ended in disaster. Anyway, yeah. So seeing Flash Gordon on the big screen was brilliant, because everyone knows that film. It is mental, that film. It is old now, it is a little bit dated in places, but it is a fun, exciting, old school adventure film. It's got that old school feeling where the good guy is whiter than white, blue-eyed babyface. I train to be a wrestler, I sometimes use wrestling terms randomly, but yeah, he's a blue-eyed babyface, and he's got that super good guy, like the stereotype hero, where he does what's right when he feels, I don't know why I'm waving this around, he does what's right when he feels it's the right thing to do. No matter what it is, he will go headlong into the battle to save the girl, save the planet, no matter what it's going to cost him. And the villains are evil, maniacal, nasty. There's no grey area. It's black is the bad and white is the good. It's that black-white thing. It's like, there's no grey areas in this film. It's the good guys and the bad guys, and you want the good guys to win. You don't like the bad guys, and that's how it used to be. And you get that, it just feels so good that there's not much thinking in this movie. You can just sit there and watch it and enjoy it. And I don't have to have a degree to work out what's going on. It's a nice film. And again, some of it is, especially nowadays, now we've obviously moved on a lot more, some of the effects are not great, but they were of their time. This was made in 1979, released in the 1980s, so 1980, so it is a year older than me, so you know it's old. But like, it's got it's like when you watch, like when I watch Clash of the Titans, things like that, it makes you feel something inside when you're watching it. You feel it. I don't know, Hammer horror films do it to me as well. Some of their old school movies that just make you feel good. Like, they don't make them like this anymore. They don't have that same feeling that you get. You can't suspend it, even though it looks more real now because the effects are bad. You can still suspend your disbelief. And I sat in that cinema and I suspended my disbelief for, how long does it go for? For 107 minutes according to this. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and everyone was laughing, everyone was whooping, everyone was just enjoying it, and it was so good, and I would love to do it again. And I'm hoping the cinema and the people behind the night do it again. Now, obviously, it was quite expensive. It was over 80 quid for the ticket. I sat in the sort of first 4 rows, which was good for the Q&A bit because he's right there. And I enjoyed it. I did thoroughly enjoy it. So I'm kind of like, I kind of want to do it again. Now, they're actually funny. They're doing another one tonight, because this was last night. So that was the 9th. It's the 10th tonight. And they're doing another one, but it's for a TV show called Chips, which is an old American police show, which I never watched as a kid growing up. I know about it, because I remember my nan, I think she liked it, but I never myself watched it as a kid growing up, so it's not something I'm nostalgic for, so I'm not going to go to that. But if they ever brought someone iconic like Sam J. Jones again, maybe I would. Maybe, like, try and think of another thing, like maybe they do a Ghostbusters screen and they bring Dan Aykroyd in. That's the sort of thing I'd pay to go and see again. And hopefully the celebrity that comes will be like Sam J. Jones, that inviting, that comfortable to sit with, that, and if they do it that way as well, we all just sit around chatting, even better. Because I'm not one for asking questions in those situations. I'm just happy to sit and listen and non-smile. And also Sam J. Jones, he looked every person in the eye when he was talking. He wasn't just like, oh, I've got to tell a story. He was literally he was engaged with everyone. That man knows what he's doing and how to make people feel comfortable around him. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this. Like I said, this was for the Ashford Cinema, so check their website, because they do some random stuff in there that's not like your normal cinema screenings and that. Some more exciting stuff, some interesting stuff. So check them out, especially if you're in the Kent area, or even a lot of the guys came from London that were there. I've spoke to a couple of people from London that came down last night. So if you're southeast of England, Ashford's an easy place to get to. It's like a 10-minute walk from the train station, so you might see stuff there. Again, if you're going to Herne Bay, I think it's this weekend, they're doing the Comic-Con there. I'm sadly not going, but if you're going to Herne Bay at the Comic-Con there, Sam J. Jones is there. If you're a Flash Gordon fan, it's worth going to see him because he's such a lovely guy. Seriously, he's really a lovely guy. So go see him and chat to him. It's worth your time, and he'll probably make it worth your time. He's such a nice guy. And yeah, and it's a lovely week. The weather's lovely. So if you are going to the Herne Bay Comic-Con, it's going to be a great day for it. I really wish I was going this year, but it's one of those where I sort of like, I was like, oh, I've got a lot going on this month. Busy. I'm running the London Marathon this month. So I'm training for that. My kids are off for Easter half term, so a lot of the money I've got is going on them and stuff we're doing. So it's just to get everyone to the Herne Bay Comic Con because Dad likes it is a bit of an ask. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all guys again real soon for more reviews and such and other stuff. And if you want to follow me on, if it's Facebook or subscribe on YouTube, it costs you nothing. Follow me and you'll see more stuff from me. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you around very, very soon. Bye.